So what about that? Huh? Wasn't it pretty cool? The name was called, or his name is Igor. So now you know where this huge sound is coming from, this deep bass. They are doing this show like almost every hour or so. And we already got used to it. But, you know, we totally forgot to show this to you guys. But besides having something artsy-fartsy happening over here on our show floor, we are also talking about new and latest technologies. And we're coming back to a company who is actually well known because of its mother company. But they came up with a new brand and with a new brand name, which is Honor. And that means it belongs to Huawei. And we have Lars-Christian Weisswange. He is the Chief Engagement Officer. That is an interesting title.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the... You know what? We've had Boris Schneider-Jone from Microsoft over here, and he is the director, the director of enthusiasm at Microsoft.
Also nice. Also nice.
That's also an interesting one. So we have the Chief Engagement Officer.
Exactly.
What's the Chief Engagement Officer doing?
Well, basically, my basic function is that I'm running the European organization. So I'm responsible with my team to launch the Honor brand in Europe and promote the Honor brand in Europe. The Chief Engagement Officer we thought of because engagement is what the heart of Honor is all about. We want to reach out to our fans. We want to make sure that we engage with them, try to involve them in the brand as much as possible so that we actually can move things forward for a better future.
Honor, fairly new brand, came out last year.
Exactly, yeah.
With a boom, pretty much. And what's quite interesting about Honor is the first devices that you got into the market built a huge momentum, got quite some attention, great reviews, great feedback from users.
Yes.
This is not very common for a new brand, right? Of course, it is based on the heritage of Huawei, yes. But still, to get an additional brand into the market, that's a little bit of a challenge.
New brands are always challenging, but challenges are things which are good fun and keep our world moving. Without the challenges, it would be quite boring, to be honest.
Right.
But on the other hand, I mean, we do have this big mothership, Huawei, in our bag, who helps us a lot. But with Honor, we do have a lot more freedom, and we can interact in a completely different way with Honor. With Honor, we are very, very specific to a target audience. We want to deal directly with the digital natives, and we want to be a brand just for them. And by being very, very edgy, it helps to establish the brand as well. Yeah. So I don't really care if your mom, my mom, or my neighbor understands what Honor is all about, unless they are young at heart as well and see themselves as digital natives, which is usually not the case. But for these digital natives, that's where we actually want to be, and we want to work together with them and do something completely new and do something which is hopefully to be considered as a game-changing momentum in the market in a year's time.
Shall we talk about potential game changes? Shall we show some?
Because I mean, yes.
you got two devices over here that we would love to showcase. On the one hand, we have a smartphone, and then we also have a little fitness tracker. I think that's the best way to describe it and to explain this new device. Everyone is having smartwatches in these days. I still think right now the fitness tracker market is the bigger one. It's a more interesting one. And therefore, you know what, let's just check it out. First of all, you have, it looks like a traditional, was it 5.5 inch?
Yeah, 5.2 inch.
Almost. Yeah. I almost got it.
the Honor 7, the good thing about 5.2 is that it's really, really fitting well in your hand, and you can use it if you want to hold it for a second. It sits good in the hand.
Oh, yeah.
It has a perfect measure to make it a one-hand use device, which was very, very important for us because, as you know, in the European market, the one-hand use is still very, very prominent, very, very important, and the phablets are picking up, like our Honor 6 Plus, for example, or the 4X, but it's not like something which people tend to use as mainstream devices. And if you hold this device in your hand, you can feel the quality with the aluminium frame. And I'll tell you a little secret.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Secret.
My personal all-time high on this device, you know, from a spec perspective, it's really, really great. Just everything a flagship device needs. But can I just hold it for a second? This is where my heart always opens. And the reason why that is it's slightly elevated. Yeah,
okay.
So it makes the brand feelable. So you can touch the brand, which is so nice. And this is what I personally really, really like. All the nice things about the great fingerprinter or the smart key we have, where you actually can program 3 different applications on it. It's all great, and it's really, really nice, and it's a very good overall package. But for me personally, this touchable of the brand is so great.
Tell us a little bit about the specification of the device. We already said it's a 5.2 inch, and what kind of SoC, how much RAM, what about the battery? Are there any specific features? You already mentioned the smart key.
Yeah, so it's a 5.2 inch Full HD, obviously, which is what the geeks would expect from it anyway, to be. It has our latest Kirin SoC, so the 935, with up to 2.2 gigahertz clocking, 3 gigabyte of RAM, and 16 gigabyte onboard storage. Obviously, with a micro SD card exchangeable up to 128 additional gigabytes. Sorry, but you can also use one of the 2 nano SIM slots. The micro SD slot you can also use as a nano SD slot if you want to do so. So you can use it as a dual SIM handy if you like to do that. Then we have some quite unique features which you don't find very often anymore in devices. One we already talked about is this additional key, the smart key, which is programmable with up to 3 different applications. For example, I have a short press, the camera works. If I press long, the light goes on, which is quite useful during nighttime. And if you double click, I have Google Now at the moment on that function. We do have the very, very quick fingerprint scanner. The great thing about the fingerprint scanner is that it's 360 degrees, so it doesn't really matter how you hold your phone. Once you register your finger, you can unlock it from every single angle. And that in a time of 0.5 seconds, so really, really fast.
Very cool.
Yeah. And the other thing we also integrated in the device is something which is very, very important for the Asian market already, and it's picking up in the European market as well. We obviously do have a strong front-facing camera with 8 megapixel, but we have an additional light with it. So in dark light conditions, clubs, or if you are visiting a city at night, you can use this light to actually get better photo results. And this device has so many great things. Let me maybe add one thing, because this is also something which you very rarely find in devices. And this is this little piece. Yeah. It's an infrared port.
Okay, so interesting. So you can also use it as a remote control.
Exactly.
And just
yes.
Yeah, that became very rare. That's so true. Tell us a little bit about the internal storage. Are there different versions?
In Europe, we'll only ship the 16 gigabyte version.
Can I extend it with a micro SD card?
Exactly, you can do that. The micro SD card up to 128 gigabyte.
Yeah, because this was a question in our chat. Question was why is there only a 16 gigabyte version for internal storage? it is what it is, but at least you can upgrade it with a micro SD card.
Yeah. Plus, with the price point of 350 euros, it's actually a really, really good bargain.
That is a really, really good price point. Yeah. Besides the phone, you also brought a little wearable.
Exactly. Two things about that. It's, as you said, a little wearable. I would not call it a fitness tracker. For us, it's much more of an fashion gadget.
Yeah.
So we don't expect it to the users to put it on while they are doing running, but we expect the users to use it every day instead of their Swatch or whatever, and use the device for the general tracking of their movements. Mm-hmm. Yeah? But you can also use it to control, for example, the camera of the phone. So you can use it as an.
Let's try to show. Let's try to show it on the camera. So that it's.
Unfortunately, this is a dummy, so it's not working at the moment.
It's coming over, you're only having dummies!
I'm very sorry about that, but I can still show it into the camera.
Yeah,
just
let's at least get a close-up of it, yeah. and show the design. See, this also gives me the chance to drink a little sip of Red Bull before I'm starting to cough here. It's a dry air. I'm sitting here underneath the AC, and so you don't have me on the screen.
The good thing, or the great thing about this little piece is that we don't have a name for it at the moment. But we are inviting all our fans to think about a name. And can you believe it? The one who actually is the godfather of the name will receive every single Honor device we launch in the country where he or she is located for the next 5 years for free.
Okay, once again. So if you're coming up with a name for this device, you are receiving each and every Honor device that they will release in the next 5 years. How cool is that?
In the country where you live.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where can they register?
We will start with the registration from next week on our Facebook platforms.
Yeah.
The whole details on how it's going to work will also be published there. But I think it's a really, really cool idea, and it actually
I love that idea. Yeah. Seriously,
it really shows what Honor is all about. I mean, we do the integration of the fans with all we do, and how awesome is that you actually can be the godfather of the name of the product and still then get a nice price for it.
Yeah. So if you're interested in getting some of the Honor devices, just come up with a great name for this wearable here, and then you will be able to get free phones, get free wearables, get free. You never know whatever they're going to build in the future in the next 5 years. I mean, 5 years.
It's a long time.
Listen, 5 years. A lot to happen during the next. Jesus, 60 months. Jesus, 100. That would have been too much. I was close to say 124 months, but that's 10 years, 120 months. Do you know already when this is going to the market? But you know, is this such a pre-production and prototype?
No, it's
stage.
It's not prototype stage. It's already in production.
Yeah.
The European versions or the overseas versions are not in production yet because we are going to have to find the name first.
Yeah.
But we're planning the market start in November this year, so in Q4, and we already also have the price for it.
How much is it?
Just like a fashion gadget, 79 euros.
79 euros. That's pretty cool.
And it gives you all the functions you would expect from a tracker. You have the step counter, you have the calorie counter, the sleeping time, the stop functions for running. It is obviously water resistant. You can shower with it and so on. And you can actually get also call notifications. And as I said, you can use it as a remote control for your camera in the phone, so that you can take pictures from yourself.
So once again, if you are going to question this wearable, you're going to get free devices from Honor, and you will be able to sign up on their Facebook page. Does it actually have an internal name, a kind of code name?
The Honor Band. That's what we used last week when we first showed it to the public in London.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Can you imagine the pulse?
No pulse measurement.
No, there's no sensor for the pulse. So once again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I try to pick them up right away and just get them into the chat and into our stream. So besides that, let's just go back to Honor as a brand. And as I said, you know what, you had a quite successful start, which is basically based on building successful devices. And therefore you need good design, great price point, and of course, a quality product.
Yeah, I think that the quality we really have under control. I think if you hold any of our devices, even the Honor Holly as an entry-level device in your hand, you will feel the quality difference between what you usually get in these price points. So we always want to have the flagship on our price points. We believe that we also focus very much on what the digital natives want to have and make sure that we integrate whatever is on demand from the digital natives in the products, so that you hopefully we can react quicker and with more appropriate devices to the market. Having said that, we also try to keep a quite close portfolio, because our core belief is that if you do the right device for our target user group, you don't need to have 20 devices. 4 devices is a very good number for that.
Right. Well, I mean, last but not least, you're extending the portfolio of the Honor devices. Of course, I mean, you're really pushing this brand into the market so far very, very successfully. And I mean,
thank you.
Listen, guys, when you come up with marketing stunts like this, right, saying, okay, you know, just let us know about the brand, and no, not the brand, but the name of this Honor band, and we're going to give you 5 years of free devices. This is going to create a lot of buzz. And to be honest, to all those other fellows that have been on this market for quite a while, this is how you're doing smart marketing in these days. Seriously, this is how you create buzz for something, and this is how you create engagement. And I guess this is why he is the Chief Engagement Officer at Honor. So look it up. It's going to happen on the Facebook pages of Honor in the next week.
Exactly, yes.
And then sign up for it. Come up with your suggestions, and maybe you are the lucky one to get free smartphones for the next 5 years. Lars-Christian, thank you so much for joining us here.
It was a pleasure, as always.
We have about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of a break. And then we have a good friend of ours over here from 9 to 5 Mac. But I think, is Nicole already here? Is Nicole? Yes, she's
already here. Yeah.
That means I have 30 minutes off. You'll just join us to hear a little bit about what's happening in the Apple universe, right? From one of the best, well, not one of the best, it is the best Apple site that is out there, 9 to 5 Mac. The founder is a good friend of mine, says, so therefore you should enjoy this. I'll be back in about 35 minutes. See you then.